Every season of Hell's Kitchen is full of drama, food, and Gordon Ramsay's screams, but sometimes the show goes too far and finds itself in serious scandal territory. In Hell's Kitchen Season 3, which aired in 2007, Jen Yamola gave viewers one of the show's most iconic and frankly disgusting moments ever. She actually threw pasta in the trash, then pulled it back out when she realized it was part of another order.
Where'd you get it from?
The garbage on the top.
Oh, no way.
Yes, she did that, and it was top-notch entertainment for viewers, but for Yamola, not so much. In a 2009 interview with the New York Times, she revealed that before production on her season began, she was kept locked in a hotel room for 3 or 4 days, with every form of entertainment and distraction stripped away. That means no books, phones, newspapers, or music. She explained, "I was allowed to leave the room only with an escort. It was like I was in prison." Even 15 years later, reality shows restrict contact with the outside world, both to prevent leaks, but also to ramp up the drama. Bored, frustrated contestants are more likely to misbehave, and that's reality TV gold. Mark Andreevich, author of Reality TV, The Work of Being Watched, told The Times, "The bread and butter of reality television is to get people into a state where they are tired, stressed, and emotionally vulnerable. So does making you tired cause you to take food out of the trash and serve it to people? We're still thinking no, but it is an excuse." Another thread that ties together many reality TV shows, including Hell's Kitchen, is sleep deprivation, thanks to relentless shooting schedules, very long working days, and very early mornings. Elsie Ramos, a contestant from 2005, claimed she never slept more than 5 hours a night while filming. Other contestants confirmed Ramos's story to the New York Times, which reported that contestants often had to film dinner service scenes until 11 p.m. After service was over, they then had to discuss who to nominate for elimination, and it still wasn't time for bed, because exit interviews often wouldn't finish until about 2 a.m. In 2010, executive producer Andrew Smith told Delish, "We started with 4 smokers in season 2, then we ended up with 10. There have been plenty of awkward and embarrassing moments on Hell's Kitchen. There was the time one of the chefs left the eggs, on his scallops before serving. Another chef threw 3 cooked lobster tails in the trash, even though they were ready to serve. Contestants have mixed up key ingredients, like cooking veal instead of filet mignon, and, no surprise, others have walked off the set.
Shut it down! Turn it off! You
But according to Season 6 contestant Tech Moore, not all of these mistakes can be blamed on the chefs. Moore, who placed 12th in her season, told the New York Post that producers would sometimes deliberately mess around with ingredients, saying they would swap out your salt and sugar. People would look like f***ing assholes. But calling out producers is apparently not an option. Yamola alleged that a fellow contestant was axed after claiming in a confessional that the show was rigged. Before Yamola went on Hell's Kitchen, she recalled, "I'm from a small town. I was starry-eyed and dreamy about the whole thing. Unfortunately, she quickly realized that most things on the set were faked for entertainment." She claimed producers were feeding lines to Ramsay through an earpiece and that there were double-sided mirrors to hide cameras. However, when season 21 contestant Alex Nahar spoke to Mashed in 2022, he said, "What you see during challenges and services is raw. There's no producer coming in. The only thing that happens with producers is right before a challenge, they'll stop us and they go over the rules." He went in believing that some of the show must be scripted behind the scenes, but afterwards stated, "No, there's no script at all. They're smart with it. They get a lot of egotistical chefs and pit them up against each other, which is awesome." Nobody puts themselves through Hell's Kitchen for nothing. Ramsay and the producers dangle a carrot in front of the participants in the form of a Top Chef job and a cash prize of $250,000. But things aren't always as they seem. Take Dave Levy, who went on to work at a Raxi restaurant and bar in Whistler, British Columbia, after winning season 6. He initially believed he'd be taking over the job of head chef, but when he got there, he was made a line cook. Then there was Holly Ugalde, winner of season 7, who was told she'd be given a job at the Savoy Grill in London, but she claimed that she was never actually given documentation to make it happen. And in a 2024 episode of the Vice documentary series Dark Side of Reality TV, Ariel Malone, who won season 15, claims that she also missed out on her prize. Malone said she was supposed to work at BLT Steak in Las Vegas as an executive chef, but ended up just taking pictures with people as paid talent. But not every contestant has complaints.
I'm looking for my head chef at Gordon Ramsay Steak at the Paris in Las Vegas.
Since the show, the winner of season 10, Christina Wilson, has made an entire career working for Ramsay. She started off in Las Vegas's Gordon Ramsay Steak restaurant before becoming executive chef at Gordon Ramsay Burger. Most recently, she was the vice president of culinary for Gordon Ramsay North America from 2020 to 2023. Anyone who knows anything about Gordon Ramsay knows that he doesn't have a reputation for being a nice guy. He swears constantly and seems to be constantly dishing out insults.
Those two, yeah, are cooking like donkeys.
But that's arguably part of what has made him such a huge success in the reality TV world. For contestants, though, it's not so fun. In fact, in Vice's documentary, Season 1 contestant Elsie Ramos claimed, "Everybody was afraid. I did not expect to see that fiery bully.
He's the devil.
Like he's the Simon Cowell of the kitchen.
He's way worse than Simon Cowell."
Tech Moore added that bullying is a general problem in the restaurant industry, claiming chefs know how to verbally disembowel people. In fact, the toxic culture prevalent in the restaurant business was witnessed firsthand by director John Wells while he was researching the film Burnt, in which Bradley Cooper played a chef. According to Wells, he saw a chef in a Michelin star restaurant burn another chef with a spatula. He also recalled seeing an employee get hit in the face with a hot steak for making a mistake.
I ain't no f***ing bitch, chef. I don't give a f***. I ain't no bitch.
What?
That may be reality, but some believe that Ramsay should be doing more to improve the culture instead of perpetuating it. In 2018, restaurant critic Jay Rayner criticized a moment from Ramsay's Kitchen Nightmares USA, in which Ramsay shouted abuse at employees with whom he was working. In a post on X, Rayner wrote, "This is everything that has been wrong about restaurant kitchen culture. Because he suffered violence and abuse as a young cook, Ramsay thinks it's character building, and so the cycle continues. All he's doing is glamorizing bullying." For the most part, Ramsay's aggressive behavior is limited to shouting and swearing, but on several occasions, things have gotten physical. While filming an episode in 2004, Ramsay ended up shoving one of the contestants. At the time, a spokesperson for Ramsay told The Scotsman, "This is a minor matter and will not interfere with the rest of the production timetable." The contestant ended up with a sprained ankle, and because doctors ordered the injured contestant to rest, he was cut from the show. An anonymous source told The Scotsman that Ramsay had weighed in privately about the incident, saying, "The guy wound me up and I got angry. He hurt his ankle when he fell. It wasn't intentional. I'm Gordon Ramsay, for goodness sake. People know I'm volatile, but I didn't mean to hurt the guy." Regardless of whether or not the incident was intentional or in the heat of the moment, there were serious consequences. In the end, producers had to pay the contestant $124,000 to settle the incident out of court. In a 2010 interview with the New York Post, Robert Hess, who was a contestant in 2009, explained that, during his season, Ramsay had bodyguards to prevent things from getting physical against him, saying, "If you saw the episode where the military guy snapped and challenged Ramsay to a fight in the parking lot, those are his bodyguards. They are ready for anything." Jen Yamola and other Hell's Kitchen contestants have spoken about having all forms of entertainment, including phones and newspapers, removed from their possession before filming. The way Season 5's Seth Levine explained it, "It is just you by yourself in LA in this pit of fire." Levine added that if the rules are broken, producers are very unhappy about it, saying, "There was one time that one of us got a hold of a newspaper, and it was like all hell broke loose. They came over and ripped it out of our hands." In Levine's experience, though, the Hell's Kitchen team was supportive after the show wrapped the season. He said that contestants on his season were sent to a beautiful house and offered spa-like treatments and haircuts, recalling, "It is kind of like decompression before you go back into society." Another contestant who enjoyed the experience but struggled with the rules around entertainment and being out of communication was Season 20 winner Trenton Garvey. Garvey told MASH that having no outlet at all was challenging and that he wasn't allowed to even call his fiancée, sharing, "Couldn't watch TV, couldn't listen to the radio. So you're just stuck. I spent the time trying to read the recipes they gave us, staying away from the drama." The casting process on Hell's Kitchen is extremely thorough. Executive producer Andrew Smith told Delish that the team looks for passion, but they also want people who can tough out the process, saying, "Our cast members are line cooks and garde-mangers. They're in the trenches." But amid the search for the next culinary star, sometimes the casting process fails to weed out troublemakers. In Season 3, one contestant, known as JR, and not to be confused with JR Robinson from Season 13, was allegedly disqualified from the show for spreading nasty rumors about fellow contestants. This is all internet gossip, as there isn't much information out there about the mysterious JR, but he allegedly also started leaking spoilers about the show online. Indeed, there's no record of JR appearing in Season 3, which suggests that he may have been cut early. That said, one of the contestants who did appear on Season 3, Joanna Dunn, shared in a 2018 Facebook post that JR spread rumors about her that cost her a job. Jen Yamola admitted to struggling after leaving Hell's Kitchen and returning to reality. She was so stressed that she didn't get her period for 6 weeks, and she said she felt borderline suicidal. She told the New York Post, "Certain things about the show made me feel poorly about myself." Fortunately, Yamola recovered, and even said she considered doing more reality TV for the exposure. But not every former contestant has had the same experience. Depression is a major risk for reality TV contestants. In fact, a 2009 article by The Sun found that, since 1986, around 38 people had had died by suicide after appearing on reality TV, and that number has increased in the years since. Hell's Kitchen contestant Rachel Brown, who appeared in season 2 in 2006, died by suicide the following year. In a 2010 interview with CBS News, Dr. Robert Ufit of the American Academy of Suicidology said that he believed Brown likely had problems before Hell's Kitchen, explaining, "I would almost bet that the show itself should not be held responsible. I would say that the show might have tripped off something else that was going on in their lives." If you or someone you know is struggling or in crisis, help is available. Call or text 988 or chat 988lifeline.org.